Hello and welcome to Necromundown. Today we're talking about, relevantly, the Venators.
Yeah.
One of the last gangs we haven't gotten to on our big, long list of deep dives, and the most recently updated.
Yeah, they were just like, I know we updated squats, and we're also going to do
Nomads.
and then they're like, Venator update.
And the best part is, it's completely free.
It is.
So if you don't know, it's under Bone Dry and what again?
Bone Dry but broke.
Bone Dry and Broke is the name of the document on Warhammer Community. It is completely 100% free. It also completely 100% replaces the rules that were already in existence for Venators.
Yep.
Nothing of value was lost.
Correct.
Not in the sense that old Venators were unplayable or bad. I mean, they were old.
They were old.
But this is just old Venators, but better.
Yep.
There is nothing that was taken away to my knowledge.
I believe you're correct. Unlike Enforcers, where they are two different gangs and they each have their positives and negatives, this is just new Venators. Ignore the old ones.
And completely better.
Yep.
You have no reason not to swap to this, especially since it's also completely free.
It's also free.
So thank you, GW. I love that.
Yeah.
I love me some new free awesome rules. Venators, brief lore. Bounty hunters. We all know bounty hunters are a big part of Necromundan life because there's often bounties. That's how Helmore kind of enforces order because the Pal Knights can't be everywhere.
Sure.
So put a bounty on somebody. Some bounty hunters are sanctioned by the Imperial House, which means AKA, you're allowed to do what you're doing, and some are outlaws. Sometimes groups of bounty hunters will get together to accomplish goals, and when they do so, they are called a Venator gang. It's usually not Dramatis Personae,
Right.
but sometimes it is. But usually it's just groups of bounty hunters working together for a common goal, either like a super big target, and that's how you end up with one as a gang. So narratively, they're supposed to be there for a reason. They're not just supposed to be there to be getting territory.
Yeah.
So if you are playing Venators, try and think of a reason why, within the story of your campaign, work with your arbitrator. Why would your Venators be there? Sometimes, when we play campaigns, we often don't have a greater story besides we're all just in this area.
Right.
So try and think of something for your Venators, because that might also guide what type of Venators you get. And we'll get to that.
Like, for example, you could do something like in the Yardland campaign where there's the Imperial and the not Imperial side, you can, have a target in mind, that kind of thing.
A group of Venators trying to kill the Malstrain.
Yeah.
A silly goal, but there's something they could absolutely try and do.
Yeah.
Basically, and within that, these guys are right up there with Outcast as the most customizable gang.
Yes, definitely.
Slightly less so in that you can't just pick any fighter profile.
Yeah,
but you can still pick a lot of them.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, it's definitely less the King of the Hill type thing where like your leader is the best
and everyone else sucks.
Everybody else is bad. Which we talked about with the mutants as well. This one kind of spreads it out a little bit more. Leader not as good, everybody else a bit better.
Yep, depending on your leader, because they can still be really good.
That's true, but not as good as like I don't know, Slag.
No, and okay, maybe not Slag. And they certainly don't have the disposable bodies.
Definitely not.
So first off,
I mean,
well, okay, yeah.
We'll get to it.
Anyway, so first off, how do they play? However you want.
Yep, they are very, very customizable.
Yeah.
And other than the leader, even more so than Outcast.
Previously, we would have said you're going to a vaguely elite team. That is no longer necessarily the case for a couple reasons. So the house skills, they don't have any house skills.
Nope.
So they do have some house rules. Sorry, rules of their
rules of their
rules.
House.
Yeah. Number one, captured fighters. Whenever you capture a fighter, normally you have to wait for your opponent to try and rescue, or you sell them back.
Yes.
Venators automatically sell any enemy fighter if they aren't rescued.
Yes.
So you still get to rescue them.
They have one chance.
Right.
And if they don't do it, they're gone.
But normally when you sell to the guilders, you get half the credit value. Venators get full.
Yep.
It's basically saying, look, either they've just got connections with the guilders or there's always a bounty on everybody.
Yeah, fair. The other cool thing that they have is in kind of replacement of the normal rule for capturing, if your opponent deletes anyone in the post-battle sequence from their roster, you get half their credits immediately.
Right.
So these guys can be rolling in money if they, get lucky.
If you get kills.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a win more.
Yeah.
If you're killing your opponent's models, just, oh, by the way.
Also, cash. Yeah, when I played them, I killed a 350 credit guy by accident.
By accident?
Well, I mean,
I
I
didn't mean to shoot him.
No, I definitely meant to shoot him. I didn't mean to kill him.
Oh, that was an AoE. Oh God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So the way that their skills work is they're, again, super customizable, even potentially more than Outcasts. We're going to bring them up a lot because there's a lot of similarities. You get 4 skill trees, and you order them 1 through 4. Your leader has the primary skills of your first and second choice, plus leadership. And then your third and fourth choice are secondaries.
Yes.
The champion gets the first, second, and third choice.
Which is huge.
Yeah, 3 primaries for your champions.
Right.
And then your fourth and leadership are secondaries. And then your specialists are first and second as primary, third and fourth as secondary.
Right.
Previously, it was everybody had 1 and 2. The leader had leadership as a primary, and the champion had leadership as a secondary. But they made it so that the champions are even better, which is awesome. Yeah, I had to do a double take on that.
Yeah. So very good skill access. Basically, you get. 3 is more than you ever need.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you can customize out the wazoo. There is a couple more things for their special stuff.
Yeah. So they can hire Dramatis Personae and Hive Scum in the same way as other gangs, but you can never hire normal bounty hunters. Unless they're Dramatis Personae.
Yeah, because they are bounty hunters.
Basically, they are bounty hunters, so they're not going to work with other non-named bounty hunters. Yeah. But they will work with Dramatis Personae and Hive Scum because they're local talent.
Yeah.
Or local expertise. However, they can never hire hangers-on, brutes, or Dramatis Personae who only work with certain gangs. Yeah. No matter what gang legacy you pick, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, we will talk about momentarily.
So, like, for example, the guy who only works with squat gangs.
Yeah.
You can't hire him. No matter what, even if you pick squat legacy, squat leader, you can't hire that guy. Yeah. He only works with squat gangs, you don't count.
And the last thing before we move on to that is if you are playing in Dominion and there are special, what are they called? Sorry.
Territories?
Enhanced boons.
Oh, enhanced boons.
On territories that work with specific gangs. You don't get those unless your leader has a gang legacy.
Right.
So have a gang legacy.
Yeah, it's really hard not to have a gang legacy in this one.
Yeah. Like if there's not that, like I know Secundus doesn't necessarily do that kind of thing, then you can choose not to.
Right.
But if you do have those, you're gonna handicap yourself if you don't have a legacy.
That being said, a lot of the enhanced boons aren't that good.
I mean,
some of them are.
Some of them are really good.
Some of them are, but not all that. So gang legacy. So not just your leader.
Yeah.
But when you pick most fighters in a Venator gang, they get a gang legacy.
Yes.
And they get additional weapons and war gear to their equipment list that is added when they are added to the gang. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you can pick Kadar, Dalak, Escher, Goliath, Orlok, Vansar, the big ones, but you can also pick Squats and Ogren.
Mm-hmm. It basically just gives you more stuff. When you join the gang, you can do, Escher, what's the sniper? The Venom sniper?
Oh, the needle rifle?
Needle rifle.
Okay.
Both words were wrong.
It's also a short-range gun, not a sniper.
But it looks like. Okay, how about the Venom, the flamethrower?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. Nobody uses that thing. Nightshade Chemthrower.
Yeah, the Chemthrower. You can get a Chemthrower at hiring. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do this, but it is kind of flavorful, and it does help when your guys join the gang. Think of it as them like kind of sneaking stuff away from their gang as they're leaving.
It's implied they had it when they left.
Yeah.
It's a hunt leader or champion can purchase status items or exotic beasts from their gang. Mm-hmm. And of course, weapons and war gear. You can mix in within, unlike Book of the Outcasts, you can mix within a gang.
Yes.
So you can have a champion who is Goliath and a leader who's Escher. Mm-hmm. Like they came from their respective gangs, but they are teamed up to fight together.
Yep.
But every fighter can only be from one house.
Yeah. Trying to imagine Goliath and Escher having one fighter that's a little weird. But
that's just the Amazonians from Futurama.
Exactly. This is super useful for customization and for hiring stuff. Previously, this cost credits.
Right.
Every single guy that had a house legacy, first of all, you couldn't get Squats or Ogren.
Right.
It cost 30 extra credits. Now it's free.
But the thing is that it's now restricted to when they join the game.
Yeah, only when they join the game.
So it's not like Outcasts where you just kind of always have it because you have connections. No. You literally get it when you join because, again, it's just implied they had that when they left.
Yeah.
And, of course, your leader's gang legacy is what determines the enhanced boons.
Yes.
So not your champions, just your leader. There's also Ratlings and Beastmen.
Yep.
Which is very interesting.
So Rattlings and Beastmen get special abilities.
Yes.
On top of, well, I mean, okay, I would say on top of the other abilities, but nothing else gets any abilities.
Right. This is basically instead of picking a gang legacy.
Yes.
Which it doesn't actually specifically say that, which is a little weird, but it's kind of implied.
That's a good point.
You can't be a Rattling from House Goliath. I'm sorry.
That would be so funny, though.
No, so these are basically, first off, very obviously, these are definitely dictating your model choices.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But these are kind of replacements for gang legacies. So Rattlings get reroll hit rolls of a natural 1 when they perform a shoot basic after aiming with a basic weapon.
Yes.
Only basic weapon, which does not include sniper rifles, by the way.
Right. Unfortunately.
They also increase the hit penalty to making a shooting attack against them when they are in cover by 1. So if you're in hard cover, -3 to hit.
Yep. It turns light cover into hard and hard into... Sorry, I couldn't see your eyebrows because of the hat.
Oh, sorry. So, hey, remember we talked in the Mutant Outcast video about how great an additional -1 to hit is in cover?
Yep.
Yeah, they just have it all the time.
Yep.
And then they also have an additional rule. I'm not going to read all of it, but basically they always have the slopper rule.
Yes.
And if you already have a slopper, you get to double tap.
Yep. So every Rattling gets a free slopper if they're out.
Right.
And if you have one, you get 2 rolls.
And you probably won't have one because they're not that good.
They're not that good. But I mean, they're only 20 credits?
Well, you beat me to the joke, Mitchell.
Oh, sorry. No. I mean the sloppers.
Oh, yeah, the sloppers. Yeah.
Sloppers are only 20 credits, but they also take up a hanger on slot.
Again, it's the...
Yeah.
Now, that's really, really good because there's no downside. Well, except for the profile.
Yeah, profiles.
But I'm sure they're appropriately costed, right?
They've got to be appropriately costed.
Right. We'll get there.
And then the Beastmen, who are obviously my favorite ones.
I mean, I kind of like them too. I'm not a Beastman player.
They have 2 special rules. The first one is they get +1 attack characteristic while they have 1 or more flesh wounds.
Which is a little difficult because flesh wounds are bad.
Flesh wounds are bad. It's made up a little bit by their profile on the other side of the Rattlings.
Yeah.
And also, they basically ignore the downside of Friendzone.
Which is good.
Which is extremely good.
Because Friendzone's real good.
Yeah.
And are they appropriately costed? Well, okay. If you weren't aware, when this document came out, the Beastmen were
there we go.
had the same credit cost as someone else. They fixed that.
Yeah.
They have since re-released the document, and that has been fixed.
Yes, because it was kind of busted.
All right. So let's go to the models themselves. You have, first off, your leader, your champions, and your dudes.
Yeah.
Your house hunt leader is your default leader.
Yeah.
And kind of like Book of the Outcast, gets 4 profiles to pick from. They're worse than Book of the Outcast.
Yeah.
Which I find funny.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of your leader isn't as good, but everybody else is a little better.
So for 120 credits, you get to pick one of 4 profiles. First one is your basic profile, 5-inch movement, 3s and 3s to hit, strength 3, toughness 3, 3 wounds, 4 initiative, 2 attacks, and pretty good mental stat, 6s across the board except 5. Cool. Then
cool is the best stat.
Yep. Then you can basically choose to drop an inch of movement for 4 inches, keep your 3s and 3s, gain a strength of 4, but lose a wound. And also lose a cool. And gain a willpower up to 5. So that one's a little slower, but a little stronger.
Yep. Strength 4 is pretty good.
You could drop an inch of movement to become a Vansar, which is 4-inch movement, weapon skill 4, but ballistic skill 2, strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds, 4 up initiative. So I guess better than a Vansar, not force.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But only 1 attack and some really good mental stats of 5 leadership, 5 cool, 6 willpower, and 4 intelligence. So Vansar.
Basically Vansar, yeah.
Or you can kind of pick, I guess, is kind of an Eschery one, or maybe Cawdor. 6-inch movement, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds, 2 initiative, which is why I said Escher.
Yeah.
3 attacks.
Which is why you said Escher.
7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, 6 intelligence. That one's kind of your melee glass cannon-y because they're not actually stronger, but you still got 3 attacks.
Yeah, 3 attacks at 3s to hit, speed 6. Usually they put the melee profile on speed 4 just because like to balance that out.
They like to hate it.
But that one's pretty good.
Well, they finally learned because that melee profile 4 always made it kind of like worse.
Yeah.
I think if you're picking a melee house leader, you pick the 6-inch movement one and go for 3 attacks over the strength 4 one. I know that sounds strange, but it is far easier to buff your strength with weapons than it is to buff your attacks or get 2 extra inches of movement.
And guess what? The attacks profile is just a multiplier.
Yes. Right.
So
if you
have a 2 or 3 damage attack, it's
So basically, you can't go wrong picking the first one if you just want a basic 5-inch movement 3s and 3s. Can't go wrong picking the third one if you want shooty. 2 up to hit. And you can't go wrong picking the last one if you want melee. And that's 120 credits. Associated with all the rules for a Venator Hunt Leader, which is basically all the normal rules.
Yep. Group activation,
can't quit until you die, all that stuff. And they may select either Kador, Dalak, Escher, Goliath, Orlok, or Mansar.
Up next is the Ogryn Hunt Leader.
Your favorite models.
Oh, my favorite models. Who's 155 credits. Pretty expensive, but yeah, he's an Ogryn.
Yes.
Or she.
They don't make that model yet. Cowards.
Movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength and toughness 5, 3 wounds, 3 up initiative, 3 attacks, but leadership 8, cool 5, willpower 9, and intelligence 8.
Here's the thing. How often does leadership, willpower, intelligence actually matter?
Not very much.
When you're an Ogryn with 5 inches of movement, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 up weapon skill. Because normal Ogryn, the problem with normal Ogryn is they get like 4 up weapon skill to start. They're not actually that punchy.
And 3 attacks. So you know how we were just saying 3 attacks is really good with 3 strength? How about 3 attacks with 5 strength?
Right. This is your melee beat stick leader.
Yep. And guess what? These guys can go to the trading post.
Right.
Unlike the actual Ogryn. Right.
I'm just going to say it. If you want to play Ogryn, you play Venators.
Just play Venators. Like, what's the point?
This guy even gets the Ogryn gang legacy, so you could choose to give him those augmented weapons to start. You'd be paying out the nose, but you could.
Yeah.
And then squats. Turn down for squat. Squats are only 10 credits more than a normal leader. 4-inch movement, squat. 3s and 3s, strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 2 attacks, 5s, 5s, and 6s. They're squats. They get the squat gang legacy.
Yep.
So they have put a nip in the idea of you can't pick a non-squat profile and give yourself the squat legacy.
That's true.
You can't play Buddy from Elf.
That would be so funny. I'm a speed 6 squat. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's Johnny Long Torso.
Such a weirdo.
Sorry, Ogryns aren't your favorite. This is your favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got my 2 favorite. Ogryns and Ratlings. Ratlings are 95 credits.
Ratling Hunt Leaders are 95 credits.
Yep, Ratling Hunt Leaders. The leader is 95 credits. They have a movement 6, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 2, toughness 2. 3 wounds, somehow. 2 up initiative, 2 attacks. Leadership, cool, and willpower 6, and intelligence 5.
Yep. And then they get the subject, all the rules associated with the Rattling Venators. Not bad. That's definitely your default shooty. But he's 25 credits cheaper than the other shooty and faster.
Yep.
He's still got 3 wounds, but with toughness 2, everything is going to wound you, so don't get shot.
Yeah.
But you have an easier time not getting shot.
Yeah, because you minus 1 to be hit.
I'm going to be honest with you, folks. The only downside to playing Rattlings in Necromunda is you have to play Rattlings.
Yeah, that is a downside.
Because they're just for everything that is good in Necromunda, at what they do, they're just kind of better.
Yeah.
All right, last one, Mitchell's obviously least favorite, so I won't make you talk about it, is the Beastman Hunt Leader. For 150 credits, so only 5 credits less than an Ogryn. He's got movement 4, which is less than an Ogryn, which is weird. 3s and 3s to hit and shoot. Strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attacks, 7 leadership, 5 cool, 7 willpower, 7 intelligence. I don't get why he's slower.
Yeah, I don't know. He should have been 5.
He should be cheaper or faster.
Yeah.
Honestly, he should be 6. Beastmen should move fast.
That's true.
Like, they're kind of feral. This guy shouldn't be 4 inches of movement. I mean, he's priced that way because he's got 3s and 3s.
Yeah.
But he's too expensive. I would personally want a house rule that a little less expensive, honestly.
Yeah. 150 is a lot.
And his mental stats aren't great.
Nope. But again, he's cool 5, which is the most important one.
He is, but they're all cool 5 except for the Rattling.
It's true.
So we were saying that maybe Beastman's slow speed is because Frenzon increases speed, but Frenzon doesn't increase speed. I thought it did. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's just what? True Grit,
Nerves of Steel, which is good.
Unstoppable,
and
Berserk, and Reckless,
which
is never a problem in melee.
No.
And you have to use one of your activations to move closer, which if you're playing a melee missile, you want to do anyway.
I do want to look and see what it says about immune to the chem's negative effects, never any side effects.
There's the addiction side effects.
Right, but it says it's immune to the negative effects. Would that mean that you don't have to charge and you don't
get
reckless?
Reckless? So you don't have to charge and you don't get Reckless.
I mean, again, not a huge deal because, again, you were going to do that anyway, and Reckless isn't that big a deal if you're in melee.
I still don't like him for his cost. He's too slow.
He is very slow.
I would either buff his speed or reduce his credit cost personally, which is a shame because it's fun to see Beastmen brought back into Necromunda for the first time, and I guess they had to die in Age of Sigmar to come back everywhere else.
Yeah, literally.
The normal Hunt Leader special rules are the same as all other leaders, but we do want to call out 2 things. Number 1, at creation, you can buy anything from their gang legacy or from the trading post with an availability level of common or rare 11 or less.
Yes.
Which note does not say illegal.
It does not say illegal, and it. I believe there was something on the Warhammer community site. I don't remember if it was in the thing or not. That it specifically does not say illegal because it doesn't.
Well,
mess
these
them
are
up.
sanctioned vendor bounty hunters.
Sanctioned.
Yeah. So rare 11 is good. That
Yeah.
includes all your favorites. There's a few things it leaves out.
Yeah.
But usually those few things are made up for by their gang legacy. And of course, during the campaign, you can buy anything with the trading post, blah, 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 blah. But during the campaign, you can't buy things from your house legacy. That is only at start,
Yep.
which we've already said. And they can have all types. All right, so those are your leaders. Champions.
Yes.
Many different champion options. Same thing, you have your house hunt champions, which are 90 credits. These are basically the same stat lines, but a little worse.
Interesting.
I'm not going to go over all of them.
So the second one down is up a movement.
Yep.
Because it was movement 4.
Yes.
And
And it loses a weapon skill.
it loses a weapon skill.
Which is dumb for someone who's strength 4.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
First one.
And
is
only 1 wound? 1 wound? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
your default. Yeah, well, hey, Gene Stealers. Yeah, that is literally a Gene Stealer. The Gene Stealer champion. 1 wound, 4 is to hit, 3 to shoot.
No, it's worse than a Gene.
Oh,
it's,
worse.
It's
Okay.
better than a Gene Stealer champion
Okay.
because they have strength 4.
Ah, right. Okay. There's a move. There's a Van Sar one. There's a slightly punchy Escher one.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are not terribly impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
Their
they're
champions aren't great, but they're only 90 credits, which
Yep.
is cheaper than a lot of champions.
highly customizable.
And they can also pick a house legacy, blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. Ogre champion. It literally is the same, except it has less cool and 1 less attack.
Yep.
For 125 credits. So saving yourself 30 credits.
True.
Squat Hunt Champion is also literally the same, except it's 1 less weapon skill, which you weren't going to use on a squad anyway.
True. I mean, you could.
And 1 less wound.
Yeah, 1 less wound.
The Rattling Hunt Champion is only 50 credits. Only has ballistic skill 3 instead of 2. Ooh. And only 2 wounds. Ooh.
Yeah. And 1 attack in melee.
Still way better at shooting.
Yeah. And the Beastman is still speed 4. -1 ballistic skill.
Yep.
-1 wound, -1 attack, -1 initiative for 100 credits.
Which is actually a way better deal.
Yeah. Minus 50 credits, I would take that deal.
Yeah, because you're not using that extra ballistic skill anyway, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use a shooty Beastman.
You could.
That's a thing you could do, which would be funny.
It would.
But this guy's actually a pretty solid champion for 100 credits.
Mm-hmm. I like that it kind of reversed. We weren't impressed with the leader Beastmen, but we're okay with the champion.
Yeah. And then their special rules are all the same. The only thing that changes is their equipment level. They get common or rare 10 or less at start.
Only 1 down is not terrible. You still got a lot of good stuff in
No, it's still pretty good and better than they used to be. I think it used to be 9.
there. No, I think
Didn't it go 8, 9, 10? Now it's 9, 10, 11?
the leader was always 11, but it was 9 and 8.
Okay. 10's good.
10 is good.
And then finally, your gangers, which is the last of what you have because you don't have...
Yeah, there's no juvies.
There's no juvies. Your house hunter is 50 credits. And once again, you get to choose either the basic stat line, which is, 4s and 4s, 3s and 3s, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack. You can choose a slightly slower guy who's got ballistic skill 5 but strength 4. You can choose a slightly slower guy who has ballistic skill 3 and weapon skill 4, which is, again, for a ganger, it's not bad.
Yeah,
that is basically Van Sar.
BS3 is, Van Sar.
Or 6-inch movement, 4 up weapon skill, 5 up ballistic skill, 3s and 3s, 1 wound, 1 attack. That one's kind of bad.
That one's kind of
bad. Interestingly, most gangers don't have 5s.
No. Generally, those are for juvies.
Van Sars having 5s up to hit is an anomaly for them.
Yeah.
But we have 2 5s here, and both in ballistic skill.
Yeah, that's kind of bad. Although they are the melee ones. One's strength 4 and one's ballistics.
The other one's just fast.
Yeah. Whereas the leader and the champion, like the 6-inch movement one, are very clearly the one for melee.
Yeah.
That one's just
Bad.
Yep. It should be weapon skill 3.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Or you can buy an Ogre Ganger.
For 105 credits. which has weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 5.
He's the same stats as the champion
Yeah.
for 20 credits less,
Yeah.
except for weapon skill 4, which is not a bad deal.
No, that's pretty
for
good.
2 wounds of strength and toughness 5.
Again, we're still going with just play this if you want.
But he has still a basic Ogren, like,
Yeah.
but that is, sorry, let me rephrase that. That is still 105 credits for a ganger.
Yes, that is 105 credits for a game.
You're paying for it.
I do like the thought of having a leader and your champions are all Ogren, and then like I don't know, squats is all.
I was gonna say everyone else is Rattlings.
Everyone else is Rattlings.
You just throw them. I mean, that's basically the new kill team.
Yeah, it's true.
Speaking of squats, your squat hunter is basically a default squat profile. 4-inch movement, 4s and 4s, 3s and 4s, 1 wound, 5 initiative. He's bad. He's 55 credits, so he's 5 credits. He's basically 5 credits more for losing a movement but gaining a toughness over your default ganger.
Yeah, true. This is.
And then we have a problem.
Then we have a problem. We have a problem here. The Rattling Hunter is ballistic skill 4.
Mm-hmm. 4-inch movement, by the way.
4-inch movement.
So the normal Rattlings are slower than their champions and leaders by 2 inches.
By 2 inches.
Which is a lot.
I
don't get that.
I don't get that either. But the problem here is they're 20 credits.
AKA spam list ahoy. And they're still 4 at ballistic skill.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I mean, they're 20 credits, but for 4s to hit 4-inch movement, which is bad, strength and toughness 2.
Which is bad.
But the thing you got to remember is they're -1 to be shot.
Yeah. They're slippery, but they're squishy.
Right. You could absolutely use these guys just to buff out your list and get the numbers game. The problem is that, and especially in a lot of more modern scenarios, everyone's taking the same number of gangers.
Yeah.
So this won't necessarily be a big advantage for you because you're in Necromundown nowadays. It's very rare that it's going to say bring everybody you have, and the person who has more players actually gets to bring them.
Yeah.
Usually it's bring everybody you have, and then certain gangs like Cawdor and Hivescum get to bring more guys by the power of tactics or rules.
Yeah.
Unless you have that, usually you actually kind of have to assume you're playing on the same-ish number as your opponents, subject to die rolls.
Yeah.
So buffing yourself out with Rattling Hunters probably won't help you that much.
It might actually hurt you.
Right.
Because if you're going random, you might just get all Rattling Hunters.
But, you know, the thing is that a Rattling Hunter with a bolt gun.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. You can spend 50 credits on a normal guys with 4s and 4s and give him a bolt gun. And then suddenly he's, I don't know, a bolt gun is what?
50
credits? So he's 100 credits. Or you could give this guy a bolt gun and he's slower, but until he gets shot, he is just as effective and he's 30 credits less.
Yep. Oh, he's actually more effective because he gets to reroll his ones.
Right. That's the other big thing. Rerolling, if he stands and shoots.
If he stands and shoots, which is it's a 24-inch gun.
Right.
So, yeah, some broken potential, but also not necessarily in newer scenarios.
It's hard to say. I need to play with these guys to see if Rattlings are a problem.
That's true.
Because they
All right,
could.
get on it, Josh.
I don't want to play Rattlings.
Didn't you pick up?
No,
you didn't.
I picked up gnomes.
You picked up gnomes.
I could use the gnomes as these guys.
You could.
That would be way easier than converting them into squads.
True.
Last but not least is the Beastman Hunter, who is 10 credits more. He's 60 credits, 10 credits more than your default. You get weapon skill 3, but again, 4-inch movement, but strength and toughness 4.
Strength and toughness 4 on a ganger is not a small deal.
For 60 credits, this is basically a slightly better Goliath.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
For slightly more.
Yeah.
Man, I really feel like Beastmen are great if you throw a bunch of friends on everybody.
Yeah. Everybody needs friends on it.
Right. Everyone needs friends on.
Just like get 4 free skills on everybody.
Yeah. In addition to the ones you already had.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can start a single one. So specialists. Specialists get, the 2 skill access, blah, 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 blah. Specialists get tools of the trade. These guys get rare 8 or less.
Yeah.
So not 9.
It's an extra jump down, unfortunately.
Yep. 8 or less.
And unless they are a specialist, they can only have basic close combat pistols and war gear.
Right. No heavy guns for these guys.
No heavy,
even
no
if
special.
it's on your house list.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, they lose completely any restriction at all if they're specialists, so they can have heavy weapons.
Yes, this is one of the gangs where specialists can do heavies, which is up there with Orlock, and I think someone else can do that too.
Yeah,
Enforcers.
But
yeah, Orlock specialists can have heavies, so can these guys, which can be really fun. And that's it.
Yeah.
So they don't have any unique vehicles. They don't have a vehicle crew.
That's a little rough.
It is, but it also very much makes sense that they would have to hire a bunch of scum racers.
True.
They don't have vehicles. They don't have specific brutes or pets, but and they don't have access to any of those things that only apply to house gangs.
Right.
So you can't buy a Goliath Stimmer.
Oh.
But you can buy a Sump Croc at start.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
And you can still buy an Ambot.
Everybody is from a different gang, and they get their own pet. We got a spider and a croc and a cat and a...
It's the Pokemon gang.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon... Oh, my
Pokemon
God.
Trainers gang.
Well, now I want to do that, obviously.
And the Ogre gets a Ratling.
Yeah, the Ogre and the Ratling go together because neither of them can have pets.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I saw Game of Thrones. It's
Fair.
That's just how that goes. Yeah, so overall, I'm glad this came out before we actually got to the other Venators because this is a huge step up in playability.
It would have just completely overwritten the last one. So.
All of the options you already had are already there.
Yep.
And this gives you more options and more elegantly.
Yes, agreed.
Because you get to pick the house options. We don't have a default list for you because the number of options is huge.
Yeah.
I will say if you're going to play Slave Ogrins, just play these guys.
Yeah. we see our Slave Ogren. Sorry, Cody. Bam, in the corner. See our Slave Ogren review. Yeah, just play this.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have the lobotomite, the Lobo slaves.
That's true.
Which does change something.
That's true.
But otherwise, this is how you play Ratlings.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
That's how you play Beastmen.
Hey, look, there are some people who want to play Ratlings in Necromunda for some reason. Beastmen.
I want to play Beastmen in Necromunda. That'd be cool.
Yeah. The only letdown I have of this is the 4-inch movement on the Beastmen.
That is real bad.
And possibly the pricing on the Ratlings. Possibly. We'll find out about that.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain.
Because their stats are real bad, but man, they're so cheap.
Right. Like, cheap quantity is a quality all its own, as we know from Hive Scum and Cawdor.
Yeah.
Like, these are cheaper than the Cawdor. These are as cheap as Cawdor Juvies.
Yeah.
But significantly better than them.
Yep. Well, except for the -1 toughness.
Yes.
They trade out toughness for hitability.
Right. And, with toughness 2, strength 4 things are winning you on 2s.
Yeah.
Which is brutal.
That is rough.
So
auto guns are winning you on 3s.
Yeah, so which is brutal. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Overall, though, I'm really happy with this. I think this is way more of a playable gang now.
As someone who has played Venators in the past, I'm excited to try them out again.
As someone who looked at Venators and went, never mind, I'm excited to try them.
There you go.
And I think that's it from us.
It is.
All right. So we have, at this time of recording, received the news, of course, that the Ash Waste Nomads will be the next book for Necromunda. Of course, we just came out with a squat review after the book came out. So when the Ash Waste Nomads book comes out, we'll do a review on that one. Yep. We're all looking forward to it. It is Necromunda, so that might not be till summer.
True.
Just
Hey, it's coming.
In the meantime, is this our last house book?
It might be.
I believe it is.
I believe it is.
I believe this is the last one we had not done.
That's crazy.
I'm very sorry to those of you who were requesting this one from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while. Huh?
It was always going to be last because we were putting it off because we didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
But now we like it. So, hey, at least you got a good version. That doesn't mean the Necromundown content train is ending by any stretch of the imagination.
No. There's way too many books for that.
Way too many books for that, and some, lots of things to revisit. The world has changed a little bit since when we started this. The gangs have changed, and we'll keep on trucking. So if you want to see more of it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to chat with us in person, call me. No, don't call me. Instead, join our Discord.
Phone number here?
555-555-555. Call the toll-free number.
Yeah.
After the first minute, it goes up to $18 an hour. Ooh. So just letting you know. Sorry, $18 a minute. We do have our Discord, part of the Game Talk Network Discord, link down below. You can find us there. If for some reason we don't respond, ping me judiciously.
Yeah.
And I might even say hi. And until then, we will talk to you next time.